In this week's episode of the podcast, we are going to be talking about the importance of having that one thing that you look forward to every single day, not just for the weekend, because we cannot just live for 2 days, and we have to find a way to not burn out, to continue and keep our momentum. And how do we do that? By making sure we fuel up each and every single day.
So tune in.
Let's go. Hello and welcome to the 2D podcast. And as for the viewers, you can tell that something's a little different. You know, we're not doing the traditional up and close, face to face on the camera.
Front facing.
Yeah, we are in front. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but we are in front of a silver diner. And the reason we decided to do it this way is because we wanted to do it a little different.
And not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, not sponsored, by the way. Yeah. You know, we want to try something different. I feel like once we're somehow off camera, we're able to speak a little more freely. Because when me and Iana speak in the car, we come up with so many ideas and we're like, oh man,
That's when it flows.
if only we were recording this conversation.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, how are you doing, Iana?
I'm doing well. Definitely trying to get back in the swing of things, coming back from vacation. I
Nice.
just had my first full week-ish back to work
Yeah.
because last Friday I did take, I teleworked for a few hours.
Nice.
And then I was able to just get myself back in order. So that was really helpful. So one, I'm super grateful for having such like an understanding supervisor and like allowing me the opportunity because I originally was going to go in.
Right.
And then he was like, no, it's okay. Just let me know what's what I can help with.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go from there. And I was like,
Beautiful.
cool.
Yeah. And it's those little moments that it's so small, but
it makes a difference.
makes a difference. And for the supervisor too, like you gain a little more, like, not that you were disrespecting them, but it just ups your level of respect for them.
Yes.
You know, because, okay, they looked out when I needed them to. More than I thought they would.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, I'm willing to do a little bit more. You know, I'm putting the work in a little bit more whenever their back's up against the wall or when they need certain things done.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, and I'm glad that you were able to take the day and to, you know, get back into the flow of things and just do you. Let's go.
How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty great.
Yeah.
Today, which is Sunday on which we're recording, Super Bowl Sunday, right? The game's literally going on right now. We just saw Usher.
As we speak.
Yeah, literally. And, but no, and not because of the Super Bowl, because, you know, I don't really care too much about it, but I was able to play soccer and 11v11 on a full field, and I just got a new lens, a zoom lens that goes from 70 to 180 millimeters.
Yes.
And so to put that in perspective, right, for those of you watching on YouTube, that's filmed on a 35 millimeter. And that camera is in the back seat of my Camry. And that's, you know, that's literally the distance that you're seeing. So you imagine the 70 is already double that. And then 180, man.
Right.
It is so dope. I got this lens mainly for sports videography. So especially for your cousin's games.
Yes.
It's going to be so dope.
Oh, I'm so excited
Man.
for him.
And then yesterday I got the gimbal.
Yeah.
And I got a wider angle lens, 15. Because 16, I'm sorry, because I'm going to be doing real estate photography and videography. So
I'm so excited for everything on your pipeline.
man, so
coming
it's
up.
yeah. So I'm so excited, but I have to make sure now that I have the lens required for real estate photography and
Mhm.
videography, that I have to be very urgent and efficient at going out now.
Yeah.
Like
That's your intention.
I no longer have the excuse of, well, I don't have the proper equipment yet
Right.
to do that type of work.
When I get the lens, da
Yeah,
da 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 da.
exactly. Now it's
Now
okay.
it's I have the
I have the
lens. Here
lens.
we
Let me go
go.
out, do it for free to get that practice in, to build my
Mhm.
portfolio,
Yes.
and then scale from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm excited. So let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep up that momentum because
Yeah.
I think the momentum is really what
Oh,
keeps
100%.
it going.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
As soon as you lose momentum, it's over.
No, don't say that. You can
Nah.
always come back.
Yeah, you can always come back, but it'll be that much harder for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just stay on that momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But speaking of momentum, today's topic is going to be about not burning out, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, we want to continue to build on that momentum. And I'm
Mhm.
not saying having a full rest day, right? What I mean is, okay, as we're building momentum, sometimes we can get carried away and just, which sometimes it's not a bad thing,
Mhm.
but if you're not careful and you're on this hype train of doing, your work, you're working on your goals and your dreams, and you're like, okay, no time to waste. Coming back Monday, coming back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. But you don't take small breaks in between. I'm not talking about between Monday and Wednesday, you take Tuesday off. I'm talking about on the daily.
Mhm.
What do you need to refuel, even if you feel like you don't need to refuel?
Mhm. Yeah, like keeping that momentum, but
Hmm.
at the same time like are you enjoying life in the present and not just waiting for the weekend,
Right.
not just waiting for like what is it daily that you do? And I think you should go into your daily. Like what is it that you look forward to every single day
Exactly.
that gets you excited?
Exactly. And like you said, right? Because I read it somewhere and someone was like, yo, one of the biggest improvements I haven't had in my life
Mhm.
was I stopped looking forward to 2 days off out of the week. And I
Mhm.
started, like you said, doing the small things. One thing that I could look forward to every single day.
Mhm.
So for me, now because I'm so good at it, right? Like, I'm so good at it because my mind always gravitates towards that. And I try to wake up earlier
Mhm.
to get more me time before work, right?
Right.
But let's say right now waking up so early in the morning is already hard enough, right?
Yeah.
So go to work, and then after work, what I look forward to every single day, an hour and a half, is I make my coffee.
Mhm.
I have a specific chair in my room that I like to sit in front of the window with the blinds closed almost all the way. So it only lets out a little bit of light. And then I'm on my iPad with the speaker, and and then I either put study music while
Mhm.
I read some of my go to articles, like my tech articles,
Right.
camera, all that kind of stuff. Or I'm watching my show, which currently is One Piece, or I play some FIFA on the Switch. But
Hey.
and then I don't even play, like if I do play FIFA, it's not for like the full hour and a half. I play like for 30 minutes and then I get tired of that.
Mhm.
But and then I watch some One Piece, and then maybe I only watch one show, and then for the rest of the time remaining, I read the articles.
Right.
But the biggest thing for me is the cup of coffee,
Yeah.
which right now currently I finally started to learn how to make a good Nespresso.
Eh.
So I'm making espresso and I do that for an hour and a half. I literally look forward to that every single day. So much to the point where if someone else has plans and it's right after work, like for me, I'm like, oh, dang it. Because
Yeah.
that's where I decompress. That's where I
Mhm.
relax. That's where I take care of myself.
Yeah.
And then after that, I either go to the gym immediately with my gym group, or I start working on the videos, the edits, and the photography as well.
Mhm. So
Yeah,
that's like your moment of peace
yeah. In between
every single
every
day.
single day, in between two jobs, pretty much like
Yeah.
my 9 to 5, and then my own personal side hustles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love it. And
yeah.
like you literally defined it. Like that is like you know what the setup is, you know what it includes, you know what you've experienced it already.
No, 100%. Yeah.
I'm on the other side where I'm still trying to figure out what that daily thing is
Mm,
because I did get to the point of like, instead of getting excited to meditate, journal, pray, read, work out, all eat healthy, like all the things, that's where I got burnt out. And I was like, dang, it's all a chore now.
mm,
It's all like just weighing right now.
yeah.
So, what is the enjoyment? Because the enjoyment for me was learning what all these things were.
Mm,
So now, we looking back, growing up, it was always shows and movies.
yeah.
Like whether
Yeah.
it's watching TV shows and like teleserias or dramas with my parents, the Filipino ones, or watching like Saturday morning cartoons with my sisters, or like just keeping up with the Kardashian, like it doesn't matter, or
Yeah.
going to the actual movies, or waiting and like my dad bringing home like Disney, like actual
The VHS
VHS
tapes. Yeah.
VHS tapes from
Wow.
Costco. Yes, like that was it. So my thing for this week, I'm trying and testing.
Yeah.
There are so many movies that I wanted to that I saw on Netflix and like Disney Plus or something like that that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I really want to watch this. I really want to watch this." There's like I have a whole list.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, every single day, I don't have to sit and watch this movie or like a movie.
Mm,
I can either have it playing in the background while I'm doing something around the house, doing
exactly.
some like working out or like whatever, but it's something that I can look forward to, whether I've already watched it or not. And so, and then the plus side is if I do want to just sit in front of the TV or my iPad and grab some popcorn and actually cozy up and watch a movie,
Mm.
I can do that. And that's another piece. But at least it's going to fill my cup up that day.
Oh,
So,
100%. Yeah.
so movies are going to be my thing right now.
Yeah.
I'm not currently watching like a specific show,
Right.
but yeah, it's and like that that time set aside because I do have like a really wonky like out of the
Schedule.
normal schedule.
Yeah.
Um and then this week it's still not my normal schedule. But at the same time, I'm still playing with it. So I
Right.
get to um what is that called? I get to play with my schedule and see how knowing like which movies I'm going to watch this week after work and like just for me, you know?
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
And even if you're not doing anything, you could really sit down and enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Like you can make your popcorn, you can
Mhm.
eat your ice cream,
Yeah.
yeah, and just
Yes.
really go at it.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, and I mean, and it seems so like insignificant, right? To someone
Mhm.
else, it might be like, what are you guys talking about? Like, what? Who cares?
Yeah.
That's so small.
Mhm.
It's tailored to you.
Mhm.
What do you enjoy doing? Even if it's meaningless, even if you feel like it's not adding any value, if it gives you peace, if it removes you from the world, reality, pretty much for
Mhm.
that hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever you need, like, what is that? And do it, because that's the break you need. Like, I've heard people always say you need hobbies.
Mhm.
Like, when you're working so hard, you need hobbies to
Mhm.
keep you motivated and like fueled up.
Yeah.
Because if not, you are going to burn out. Like
Right.
even on your best days, when you're giving 100% every day, you are going to burn out.
Hmm.
Like you need either family time, your own time,
Right.
friend time, like
Hmm.
just to break it up.
Yeah. And I think also knowing like that you're being intentional about enjoying a moment in the day, that's the moment that makes life living. Like you can look back in the week and say like, "Oh my gosh, I can't even remember something I did that like when was the last time you did something that you enjoyed that was not during the weekend and that broke up your Monday to Friday mundane schedule,
Right.
you know?
Exactly.
Like, no, we are not living for the weekend anymore. We are intentional about living the life that we should, like, the life that we're living right now.
Yeah.
We need to enjoy it. So,
100%.
how are you enjoying it? Like, if you can't even name one thing that you did last week that you enjoyed, like, now is the time to start and prepare for, okay, do I enjoy coffee? Do I enjoy a nice 5-minute walk around the block? Do I enjoy, like, what is it that you actually enjoy?
Exactly. And honestly, that's how you start appreciating life a little bit more.
Yes.
Like, let's say you're not on the hunt right now because you can't find the motivation or you can't find, your purpose yet, or you can't find, your goals or dreams that like you haven't yet made that vision.
Hmm.
W- Doing the things that could potentially interest you. Like we all have those things. Like we don't. Some of us don't have hobbies because we don't give anything an actual go, like an
Yeah.
actual effortful go at something long enough to see if it's worthy of becoming a hobby or not,
Hmm.
right? And I'm telling you, bro, when I got this zoom lens, oh man, it rekindled
Hmm.
my love for photography and video
Nice.
because I literally got a new, I want to say perspective, like a new eye because of that lens. Because you could
Yeah.
zoom in, you can capture things that you normally wouldn't be able to
Right.
with the lens that I just had before.
Hmm.
Even though it was so quality,
Yeah.
but you have to give whatever interest that you might have, you have to give it your all. Because once immerse yourself in that world, like, there's Reddit forums, there's Instagram pages, there's so many things that could help you further along in your interests.
Hmm.
Like, get you a little more knowledgeable, introduce you to things you probably didn't even hear, I've never heard about in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to like be fully transparent on,
Yeah.
like, you know how I just talked about like shows and movies and stuff like that? Well, I put myself in this like really bad like predicament in the sense of I was craving the having something being played while I was getting ready, while I was like driving or whatever. But
Yeah.
like I needed that like stimulation. Even like at work, like I would play like lo-fi music or something like that,
Mhm.
like in order to get me in the zone. And then like I just found like 3 different podcasts and I was like, okay, let me like play them while I'm getting ready or play them like while I'm like doing these things.
That's right. Yeah.
Just like the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
And I realized like I was looking for that in my everyday process
Yeah.
because I didn't set aside a straight time of like, okay, right now I can actually like and sit down and enjoy being entertained.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
now that I'm intentional about my entertainment time,
Yeah.
now I can let my brain just be my brain, let my thoughts run
Right.
without more music being filtered in or another podcast being filtered in or whatever.
Exactly.
So that's going to be like, and I just like saw this, like, if you're constantly being like stimulated, like the what is that called? It's like a everlasting dopamine drip or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's when you can get really overstimulated and then you get burnt out, you're overwhelmed, you're not enjoying what you used to enjoy anymore because
Right.
you're constantly doing what you thought
Yeah.
you were enjoying.
Exactly.
I think that I've hit like that limit. So now I can say, no, not right now. I don't need another podcast. I don't need another, like, I don't need music right now. Let me just wash the dishes with nothing else going on.
That's
You know?
100% truth. It's
Yes.
like when you're listening to your music and you've had it on like, yeah, you maybe have like 100 plus, like 100, 200, 300 plus songs in your library.
Right.
But if you always shuffle them and you always go through them, at some point you're just like, all right, I need to stop.
Yeah.
Like, I want to enjoy the silence.
Yes.
Because you're like, I've had enough of that.
Right.
I remember doing that with one of my favorite podcasts of all time, Secret to Success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I was literally listening to them, I mean, back to back to back to back,
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it was like 2 to 3 months where I stopped altogether.
Yeah.
And because I had it, I was like, man,
Yeah.
this is enough. But then once I gave myself that break and I came back to it, I was so ready to like keep listening.
And then you heard new things from
Yes.
old podcasts and episodes. I mean,
Yeah, and I picked up like new, I don't want to say habits, but new ways of doing it.
okay.
Like I would listen to the podcast, and if it really hit, like if I said, a lot of the times when they were talking, I would make sure that I played it from, not from the very beginning, but from when I knew they started hitting those points.
I love that.
And so that way it just ingrained in my spirit every time that I heard it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it was dope. It's dope. I love the way that I'm doing that now.
Yeah.
And then I take notes and then I bring it to the podcast,
Mhm.
or I just meditate on it and I journal about it,
Yeah.
or I just carry it with me and I live by it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think, what is it? I already started watching one of the movies that I wanted to watch for this week.
Uh-huh.
And it's literally on Disney Plus, and it's one of like my all-time favorites. Like, I could watch that like every quarter if I wanted
Which
to.
one's that one?
Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
And even if I'm the age that I am,
Yeah.
like, I'm still gaining something out of it. And it's so wild because of how much they were so intentional about putting so much into it.
Yeah.
That like at the time, so many things like went over my head that like I had no idea what I was like, what is this movie even
Yeah, that's
really
right.
about?
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
But now that I'm like my age and like in the point of my life where I'm at, I'm like, wow, she's using her voice. That's really what made her be a princess.
Nice.
Instead of like go away from it because she actually has a platform. And I was like, like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not about beauty and all this stuff or like turning into the princess. Like it's, yes. So when I do rewatch a movie or something like that, that's me getting back to, oh, that was like, I remember why I liked this movie. I remember what I got out of this movie.
Nice.
Or how can I apply that lesson that she learned to my life right now, currently.
Yeah.
You
And I
know?
love that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it happens a lot of times too in like cartoons.
Yeah.
Like me and Iana were watching SpongeBob like a few weeks ago, maybe like a month or two ago.
Mhm.
From the very beginning. We stopped after like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But when we were watching You're like, wow, there's so many like jokes that you don't get
Yeah.
unless you're an adult. Like
Yes.
unless you've had some experience and like you've heard it before or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Mm.
And they're smart to do it, like the producers, because they know like it's not only the kids watch,
The parents
parents
are
too.
watching too.
And the parents can get on board with it and they'll play it for the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, talking about your vacation,
Mhm.
you really had to make a PowerPoint presentation just to make sure that, you were hitting all the points. And even then, you couldn't even fit all the pictures and videos that you had.
I couldn't. It's so funny because I really tried to make it under like I thought I could do it in like 12 to 15 slides.
Yeah.
When it got to like 25, I was like, this is way too long. And I still have like 3 more days worth of
Oh,
stuff.
jeez.
So let me combine those days into like the top videos for that day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then let me just like talk about it. And what's funny is the real time that I actually got to share with Adonis, like my full trip,
Yeah.
was through that
Well,
presentation.
yeah, literally.
Because one, it was for like the initial reason why I made the presentation is so that I could bring it up to like my programmers meeting and like show all of them. Because
Yeah.
some of them have never been to like parts of Asia, let alone like the Philippines. So I was like, okay, I got to do like my country proud and like all that stuff. So I was like, okay, let me make sure that this is like I'm presenting it properly.
Yeah,
And that's also my type A mentality.
definitely.
So the presentation came and I was like, perfect. Like this is how like how I can share it. And then there were some people that weren't able to make it. My mom, and I ended up showing my mom, and now she's asking me to send it to my dad so he can see it too. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
so funny.
okay, this is most likely going to end up on Facebook or something like
That
that.
is
Like,
so
let me
funny.
get it together.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially with your dad. He's like, hey, follow me on my journey when I went
Yeah.
to the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so dope. That is so dope. And I'm glad you put it together because even though it might have taken some time, but
Yeah.
it's definitely going to save you some time when you explain what you did.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad I didn't just do it by the day, but in between each day I showed like this is like the forms of transportation we use. This is the different snacks we ate or the different
Nice.
food or like the whatever, different flowers or something like that.
Yeah.
Animals, yeah. That we
Yeah.
saw.
And man, it was really good because you didn't even have to plan anything. Your dad was literally taking care of everything that you were doing for the day.
Yeah.
That's
And
that's the best way to travel, like you said before.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think what's funny is like how much I plan everything. So not being the planner, I'm so grateful that like I didn't have to plan anything.
Yeah.
And it really reflected because not only my sister and my cousin, but also my coworkers were like, wow, like you look so relaxed, like da 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 da
Yeah,
da.
that's so
I was
true.
like, oh my gosh, like did I really look that stressed like this whole time?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so grateful. And then now that we've had like my first trip to the Philippines,
Yeah.
I was talking with my mom and I was like, okay, now I have things that I do want to do
Yeah.
for the next time. So like I can make a special request, but
Nice.
also let them plan it because it was like I have no complaints. Like
Right.
it was amazing.
Nice. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and tuning into the 2D podcast. I'm Adonis Barrera, and she's
Yana Giselle.
yeah, and you can find us on our Instagram pages under my name, the exact same way, and Yana under,
Yana.Giselle.
and then you can find us also on our Instagram at the 2D pod. That's TOODEEP POD. Same thing with Facebook. Add the CIST for the 2D podcast. You can find the videos, for those of you listening, on YouTube under my name, Adonis Barrera, and there will be a playlist for the 2D podcast on there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know this is a shorter podcast, But hey, we got to get it in when we can. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.